Welcome back. I spent a little bit of time today gathering up all kinds of stuff and stacking it in this pile here because I am absolutely sick of all the stuff on the ground, and we've got to get clear, and we've got to get some beds in, and we've got to get planting. So I'm going to use a permaculture trick to light this up quickly. There's been a lot of rain, but there's a method for starting fires the natural way that you may not be familiar with. There's actually some green fire in the middle there. Like there's some copper or something in it. That's kind of crazy. It's like every time you light a big fire and you think it's like a good time to do it, the wind picks up and it makes it exciting. It looks like it should be fine. I cleared a big bank around it. This whole area here will now be clear, and then we can start putting in some garden beds. But there's roots all through the ground, there's vines here, and this, when the guys dropped this stuff, this crew of guys came over and they basically just chopped all the trees and let them fall into a big mess. And when you clear ground, what you're supposed to do is clear all the brush underneath, and then clear in pieces, and stack up the little stuff, stack up the big logs, and make sure that everything can be cleared in a fashion that makes sense. This didn't really make sense. So what had happened was these trees got knocked down, and then all these vines and things were growing back over the top of it and making a big mess. So I basically cleared as much of the dry brush on the ground around this as I could, and then this center area was all full of vines and stumps and things all on top of each other. And I said, you know what? We're just gonna torch that and burn it all together. This feels really, really nice. It's like, finally, I mean, earlier today, you guys probably saw, I posted day 0, starting your spring gardens from scratch, which I filmed way back in the dry season when this lot was all full of stuff. And I did it for the Home Medicine Summit for Marjorie Wildcraft. And you could see, you know, how we started it, the first couple of beds we dug in, and how many trees were over here. You couldn't even hardly see the crumbling house. This whole area was just nothing but thorny trees and vines. And now it's gonna be open, and this area here will all be crops before too long. I decided, even though I could fill this entire area full of pumpkins, which is sort of what I want to do, it makes a lot more sense for our budget, since we eat a lot of vegetables, to make a bunch of beds, put in broccoli and cabbages and that kind of thing. So that's what we're gonna do. Once I get this cleared here, we're gonna start digging in garden beds, which just have beautiful rows of nice, delicious vegetables coming in on a continual rotation. I don't think that's going to spread and burn the neighbor's house down. Not today.
These are some of the Hubbards that have come up. They look really nice. David said they looked a little yellow this morning, but they look pretty good to me now. These are the Seminole pumpkins. They're up as well. They look really nice too. This will be really exciting to see them all vining around and producing. It's very exciting. They're such a fun plant, pumpkins are, to grow because they're so vigorous. Can't wait to see them all sprawling around. I didn't even see this until the other day when David pointed it out. This pepper on this bell pepper plant must have been hanging on here, trying so hard to stay alive during the dry season. And now that the rain has come, boom, it's starting to fill out. And we didn't get any peppers off of these pepper plants during the dry season. They would get like the size of a ping pong ball or so, and they would just rot and fall off, and it just was not working. But the plants just sort of, they stayed alive, they just kind of hung on, but I didn't even see that this one was on here. So it looks like soon we might get a bell pepper. I'm bad at figuring out when to pick them. So we'll see. Hopefully we can figure this one out and get to eat it. It should be pretty flavorful since it mostly grew during the dry season. Can't wait to try that. Here's some more little bells that are producing, but they started when the rains came. This one has a purple sort of tint to it, which is kind of interesting. A couple more there, over there.
This is not exactly the proper traditional way to harvest tobacco, but I'm not growing it commercially. I'm just growing it for my pipe, and I'm going to take these leaves and hang them up to dry and then cure them out, and I'm going to let the plants just keep growing because I'm going to do little batches where I take them and dry them up, hang them in a nice spot to dry and let the color come in right, and then I'll pack them and ferment them so they taste really good, hopefully. There's some beautiful leaves then, aren't they? I have no idea what cultivar they are. Probably something left behind by the colonial powers long ago, because they grow here and there as a weed around the country. You'll just see them like here and there, and that's where I got these seeds. A friend of mine had them growing wild in his yard for years, so I just took some of the seeds and started them up, as you can see in some of the previous videos on my tobacco. And once they get big enough, you just plant them out. And now I've got my little kids taking the seed pod heads off the tops and spreading them around, dropping them all over the ground. So we should have them volunteering as a weed. Should be really kind of cool.
Here's our friend the turnip. Really nice and green now. Very happy. These are the lazy housewife beans, and they are starting to produce flowers here. So pretty soon, Lord willing, we will have lazy housewife beans.
Well, this is burning down. Looking pretty good. All this area is going to be open before too long. Now I've got, I mean, look at this ground. It's just roots and roots and vines and roots and roots and roots and vines and roots and stuff. But once we chop that up, we'll make some beds. It'll be great, and things are coming along. We're certainly a lot farther than when we started. We're glad you're joining us now for another week, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you then. And until then, may your thumbs always be green.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe him. You're a horrible person. The way you're clear makes me sick. So I'm gonna drop a lyric on your messed up head. Oh, Davy G, you're making me sick. Think of all those poor little sticks. Everyone is special in its own way. What did they do to you? This ain't okay. It should make your permaculture stomach churn. Living in the rainforest, doing slash and burn. It's sick, I'm through, thumbs down, unsubscribed. Actually, I'll stay subscribed just so I can thumbs down every video you post before anyone else watches it. So there. YouTube commenter, I get what you're saying, and everything I get is that you never worked a day in your life. Believe me, it's true, you gotta do what you gotta do. I could leave piles of sticks and vines and thorns, or be digging beds and days and planting beans and corn. No, you want me to leave it to rot. What you forgot, I'm borrowing this land for a short time to grow, for show. We could spend a year digging Hoogle culture while I get older, and my work is watched by the vultures. Or I could have beds by Wednesday and food in 30 days. It pays, and I won't apologize and tell you lies. I'm a practiculturalist, so take a look at this, and you'll see what getting things done looks like. Come on and try to dig, come on, take a turn. I guarantee in 5 minutes you'll be slash and burn. Open burning, representing with a cup of gasoline. MC Davey G. I'ma set the carbon free. Yeah, I'ma set the carbon free. Yeah, compost your enemies. MC Davey G. From the tropics, right into your ear.